Leaving the Philippines for love is a leap of faith many Filipinas take, trusting that the person waiting on the other side will honor their promises. But what happens when that trust is broken? When the dream turns into a nightmare and you're left alone in a foreign land, miles away from family and friends? Today's confession is about a wife, a mother, a Filipina who moved to Canada believing in a future filled with love and happiness. Instead, she faced secrets, infidelity, and emotional abuse. This is her story, a testament to resilience, faith, and the strength to rebuild amidst heartbreak. I moved to a new country for my family. I left my job, my friends, my whole world behind. I thought I was reuniting with my husband, but I walked straight into a life he had already filled, with someone else. And the most painful part? His mistress was someone from our past, someone who never truly left his heart, even when I did everything to keep mine together. Welcome to Red Flag Confessions, where real stories of toxic love and betrayal are brought into the light. Today's confession is about Aniah and Jason, a Filipino couple torn apart by secrets, infidelity, and emotional abuse. This isn't just a story about cheating. This is about the silent destruction of trust and the psychological scars that betrayal leaves behind. Aniah and Jason were high school sweethearts from Davao, Philippines. They dreamed of a better life, and Jason was the first to make the leap, moving to Canada as an electrician under the skilled worker program. Aniah stayed behind with their son, David, who was just 9 at the time. For 3 years, she raised David, managed everything back home, and held on to every word Jason sent her. They called each other almost daily. He'd always say, "Soon we'll be together again. I'm doing this for us." A year before Aniah moved to Canada, things between her and Jason began to change, subtly at first, but unmistakably. What used to be daily video calls and sweet updates turned into brief messages and missed calls. Aniah noticed that Jason was always busy, with work, with errands, with overtime. The warmth in his voice began to fade. But what hurt more wasn't the silence. It was how Jason always managed to twist the blame. Every time Aniah asked for a little more time, a little more affection, he'd find a reason to get mad at her. He accused her of being too needy, too controlling, or too dramatic. What once felt like a loving long-distance bond started to feel like a battlefield of guilt trips and cold responses. Aniah tried to rationalize it. Maybe the stress of living in a new country was taking a toll. Maybe he was just tired. But deep down she felt something shifting. She didn't realize then. That was the first red flag. The emotional detachment wasn't distance, it was disconnection. What Aniah didn't know was that Jason was already building another life in Canada, one that didn't include her. When Aniah and David finally arrived in Canada, she expected hugs, warmth, and the comfort of being a family again. But Jason barely looked excited. He picked them up at the airport, rushed through introductions, and drove them to a small basement apartment, not the home she thought he'd prepared. Jason's excuse? "I've been so busy. Work's crazy, didn't have time to get things together." Jason was never home. He'd leave early, come back late, always on call, always helping out a coworker. He'd keep his phone face down, started taking calls in the bathroom, and when she asked questions, he'd explode. "You don't trust me? You just got here and you're already starting drama?" A cold winter night. Aniah is in the kitchen preparing dinner. Jason walks in, clearly trying to sneak past. "You weren't on call today. I called your company." "You did what?" "I was worried. You said you were fixing a panel at a site in Mississauga, but your dispatcher said you weren't even scheduled." "So now you're spying on me? I bust my ass out there and you think I'm lying?" "I don't think, I know, and don't make me feel crazy, Jason. I've been patient. I left everything. Our son needs a father. I need a husband, not a ghost." "Oh, here we go. You're the victim again. Always so dramatic. Maybe if you focused on this family instead of playing social worker for strangers, we wouldn't have these issues." This is what gaslighting sounds like. Jason wasn't just avoiding accountability, he was attacking her sense of reality, turning her concern into a character flaw. Weeks passed. Aniah stayed quiet for David's sake, but her gut told her something was deeply wrong. Then one night while scrolling through Facebook, she saw it. A friend from back home had posted a photo of a reunion, a casual dinner in Toronto. There he was, Jason, smiling, relaxed, arm around another woman. Her name was tagged, Clarice DM. Aniah froze. Clarice, the girl Jason used to hang out with in high school. She was that girl, the one who always lingered near him but never crossed the line. Apparently she had now. Who is Clarice? She is a Filipina in her mid-30s, living in Toronto, Canada. She works part-time in marketing and is known for projecting a glamorous lifestyle on social media. With shoulder-length balayage hair, flawless makeup, and a wardrobe full of trendy, body-hugging clothes, Clarice is the image of confidence, but it's a carefully curated mask. She was Jason's classmate in high school and reconnected with him through Facebook after he moved to Canada. When Jason told her he was unhappy in his marriage and lonely, she positioned herself as his emotional escape. Clarice knew about Jason's wife, Aniah, but justified the affair by telling herself if he really loved her, he wouldn't be with me. What many don't know is that Clarice also left something behind, a young son in the Philippines, being raised by her ex-husband. While she posts motivational quotes and selfies under hashtags like #self-love and #bossbabe, deep down she carries unresolved guilt, abandonment issues, and a constant need for validation. Clarice is emotionally possessive and thrives on the attention and secrecy of the affair. She believes she won because Jason chose her physically, even though her role came at the expense of another woman's family. In truth, she represents the fantasy and temptation that helped Jason escape the pressures of real life, while she clings to him to avoid facing her own emotional wounds. Aniah messaged Clarice, "You know he's married, you know we have a son." Clarice replied instantly, "He told me you weren't coming, that your marriage was already over, that you were just staying in the Philippines to avoid the divorce." Aniah's heart broke twice in that moment, once for the betrayal, and again for the lies told about her. She didn't scream, she didn't lash out. She simply whispered, "I sacrificed everything and he sacrificed me." Jason's behavior wasn't just about lust, it was about control, power, and escapism. Psychological insight. People like Jason often compartmentalize. They put their responsibilities in one box and their desires in another. He convinced himself he was still a family man, while actively destroying the very foundation of his family. He used gaslighting to keep Aniah doubting herself. He used verbal abuse to shift blame. And he weaponized distance so she couldn't call out the truth without being painted as unstable. One morning, David walked into the kitchen and asked, "Mom, why doesn't Dad smile when you're around?" That was the last straw. Aniah didn't scream, she didn't cry. She packed a suitcase, called a friend, and moved out. She found strength in the very job Jason mocked her for. Her nonprofit work, helping other immigrant women, gave her the courage to help herself. Aniah's turning point from dependence to strength. When Aniah discovered Jason's affair, the pain was unbearable. But what made it worse was knowing she was still financially dependent on him. She had just arrived in Canada with their son, believing they were finally going to live as a family. Instead, she stepped into a cold home and an even colder truth. Swallowing her heartbreak, Aniah remembered her aunt's advice back in the Philippines. Always earn something for yourself. If a relationship goes bad, independence is your survival. That wisdom became her lifeline. Though traumatized, Aniah began applying for jobs, determined to stand on her own. She eventually found work at a nonprofit helping immigrant women, where she also found healing through community. That support system became her refuge, helping her move from silent suffering to quiet strength. You think you know someone after 10, 15, 20 years. But sometimes they were just playing a role. And sometimes it's when they stop pretending that you finally see the truth. Aniah rebuilt her life slowly, painfully, but truthfully. After enduring betrayal and heartache, Aniah found solace within her religious community in Canada. Surrounded by compassionate individuals, she nurtured her faith and rebuilt her life alongside her 12-year-old son. Their modest home echoed with newfound peace and resilience. One day, unexpectedly, Jason reached out, expressing remorse and a desire to mend their fractured relationship. Moved by her faith and the belief in redemption, Aniah chose forgiveness. They reunited, striving to rebuild their marriage on a foundation of trust and shared commitment. For 2 years, their home blossomed with harmony, laughter, and the warmth of a family healed. However, life took an unforeseen turn when Jason contracted COVID-19. Despite their hopes and prayers, he succumbed to the illness, leaving Aniah and their son to navigate the depths of grief once more. Life lessons from Aniah's journey. Embrace forgiveness. Aniah's choice to forgive Jason highlights the transformative power of letting go and the healing it brings to both the forgiver and the forgiven. Cherish the present. Their brief period of renewed happiness serves as a reminder to value each moment, understanding that life is fragile and unpredictable. Find strength in faith and community. Aniah's resilience was fortified by her faith and the support of her community, emphasizing the importance of spiritual and communal bonds in overcoming adversity. Prepare for life's uncertainties. Her journey underscores the necessity of emotional and financial independence, ensuring stability amidst life's unforeseen challenges. Aniah's story is a testament to the complexities of human relationships, the capacity for forgiveness, and the strength found in faith and community. It reminds us that while we cannot predict life's twists and turns, we can choose how we respond, finding purpose and hope even in the face of sorrow. If Aniah's story resonated with you, and you're drawn to real-life tales that delve into the red flags we often overlook, consider subscribing to Red Flag Confessions. Here, we share authentic stories of love, betrayal, resilience, and redemption. A special shout-out to the Philippines. To Aniah, your courage in sharing the red flags of your relationship and your choice to embrace forgiveness is truly inspiring. May your journey continue to be blessed, and may your story illuminate the path for others, highlighting the transformative power of forgiveness. Life is fleeting and unpredictable. Through your narrative, may many find the strength to prioritize forgiveness, understanding that in letting go, we often find peace and purpose. And for those curious about Jason's decision to part ways with Clarice, he once confessed that Aniah's quiet, introspective nature resonated more deeply with him. He realized that beyond the allure of external appearances, it was Aniah's steadfast spirit and genuine connection that truly mattered to him. Subscribe to stay updated on our latest confessions. Like this story if it touched your heart. Share with others who might find solace or insight in these narratives. Together, let's navigate the intricate tapestry of human emotions and relationships.